following is an excerpt from tonight's brand new episode of the Geekvolution Radio Hour. Tonight, Vince and I discuss the future of Hollywood and attempt to answer this question: will there always be movie theaters in the future? All that and more tonight on the Geekvolution Radio Hour, beginning at 7 Central Time on the Supervillain Network. Hope you can make it, and thanks for listening. So, this is a thing that Vince isn't really going to have any stake in, but I want to mention it real quick. There were rumors going on for a while that after Constantine got canceled, that Matt Ryan was going to be brought in as a supporting character in Arrow, and to play John Constantine in Arrow, and that is now confirmed and definitely happening. And
what? Oh my God!
And I am not happy about this at all.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's a problem, because that show was so wonderfully well written, and was really a really mature and intelligent show, and the quality of storytelling was really there, and Constantine had such a distinct, unique way of speaking. And they're going to bring him in as a supporting character in Arrow, which at least for last season was the opposite of all of that. I mean, Constantine was the show that that kind of gave me a barometer to say, okay, this is the show that I wish the CW shows would look at as how to do more intelligent but still entertaining, television storytelling with these kinds of DC superhero characters. And now we're going to bring him in, and I don't see any way around it. He's gonna be dumbed down from where he was in that show. Now, I will be very pleasantly surprised if that isn't what happens, but they needed to bring one of the writers from that show in for me to even begin to be okay with this. And the other part of this news is that apparently they've decided that John Constantine is going to be the way that Sarah Lance gets brought back from the dead. So for whatever reason, he resurrects her, and that's how she ends up becoming White Canary and going over to Legends of Tomorrow. And I think it's kind of neat that they've come up with some other way to do it besides Lazarus Pit, because everybody just assumed Lazarus Pit, but she's been dead for so long, I don't know how exactly that works. So the storyline might be kind of, they might do something sort of neat with it, but just the caliber of writing hasn't been there. It's just been really nonsensical, and all of these characters have been kind of undefined and really ethereal, and I don't know who they are anymore, and like accidentally making these people kind of, not heroic, but pretending like they are, and bad role models. And I've been really very unhappy and dissatisfied with Arrow from last season. And Flash is better, but still a lot of typical TV stuff. And Constantine was just better than that. And so seeing them take that character and that actor and that material and integrating it into this universe is definitely not something I think I want to see. But I hope that I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. I don't know, I couldn't even get into Arrow Season 2, and that was kind of the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I watched most of that, and I was like, I'm bored.
But I think if you watched a couple episodes of Constantine, you'd agree with me that it's just that the caliber of writing is so much beyond all that.
It sounds like something I'd be more into. I mean, that's even more up my alley anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, regardless of what your interests are, I'm just saying that it's just technically a better show.
Yeah.
Like, it's just technically better television, and not typical television, and, written like it's story and character driven, as opposed to, written for the character stuff in the moments, as opposed to the plot twists, you know what I mean? Like the CW stuff right now is so gimmicky. I shouldn't say CW stuff. The Arrow Flash verse, and again, Flash is better, but the Arrow Flash verse on CW. I can't say CW stuff anymore because iZombie is excellent, and that's on that show. So I know that's on that channel. It's fantastic, but anyway, NBC is reportedly developing a brand new comedy series, a sitcom set in the DC universe. Now, I don't know what exactly that means. I don't know if it being NBC, it's not likely to be tied to Arrow and Flash, but it certainly could be. NBC.
It's called Batmite.
I don't know if it would even be Supergirl, but nevertheless, they're doing a thing that's supposed to that's supposed to be in the DC universe that deals with superheroes, but the idea is that it's non-powered people working in an office dealing with superhero-related insurance claims. That could be cool.
That sounds a lot like hero support, kinda.
Yeah, it's a lot like a sitcom Vince and I did a pilot for a few years ago.
Oh.
It's hilarious. It's not the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. But that's
because that was an advice thing, and this is more like this is sort of like damage control, except you're not actually going out and fixing things. It's just the insurance part of that.
That's a good idea.
You know, I wish it was in Marvel though. I wish we had a damage control show.
Yeah. That could be insurance.
That's in the Marvel universe and connected with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that stuff.
But that's kind of genius, though. The insurance thing means you don't need to have a giant budget for it.
No, you can do anything you want to do. Well, and it is a sitcom, and I mean, like, it reminds me a little bit of The Tick from the beginning of the 2000s with Fox, where they made it a sitcom partly to save money, so they didn't have to do a lot of fights and things. So it was guys in costumes, but you didn't see a lot of fights and a lot of villains. It was mostly the in between stuff. It was like when they went and got coffee and they're talking about all that stuff. So is this a thing you think could work?
Yeah, I think it could work. I don't necessarily even need to. Pardon me. I don't even necessarily need it to be set in the DC universe. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, it doesn't matter.
But the references could be really fun. Like, there's a part of me that almost hopes that it's not connected to anything that's on TV right now.
So they could just reference whatever they want?
Yeah, they could reference anything they wanted to. I mean,
I like that idea.
It would be fun because you could have some really fun cameos and stuff. You could have some really fun guest stars, and like imagine Oliver Queen has to come in his suit and talk to the insurance people. Like, some of that kind of thing could be really funny.
Yeah.
And especially if and again, I doubt that they will because it's not on CW, but that universe has gotten so hokey, this would be perfect for it.
What city do you think it'd be set in?
That's an excellent question.
I don't know.
City. I'd put it in Metropolis. I would just put it straight. But from what I've read, Batman and Superman are kind of off the table. Mm-hmm. But like they can talk about anything else they want to, so I feel like the sky's kind of the limit on that. And it being a superhero, there's really no reason for it to get super raunchy or anything. I mean, I think you make it. What I would do with it is just make it a semi-clean comedy, and it could be a thing that families could sit down and watch. And it's just, all the in-between stuff that happens after cities get leveled by giant superhero fights. I mean, like, you just talk about... You have to be really talky, of course, and really jokey, and you just have a lot of talk about huge, giant things that would have cost you billions of dollars to put on, or millions of dollars to put on screen, but you don't show any of it. And that's always funny, or potentially funny. And then every now and again, you have your characters, leave the building and drop a car or something. I mean, like, I think it could be really fun.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm sort of excited about it.
I would like it to be set in Fawcett City, because therefore you have the big Superman-like super battles with Captain Marvel that happen off-screen.
I mean, I think that's unlikely. I think it's a lot more likely that they'll put it in some kind of sort of nondescript place, and they'll just talk about things that happen everywhere.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because the nice thing about superheroes is that most of them either, especially in DC, most of them have some way to get places really fast. So it kind of doesn't matter where it's at. Like especially if you only have one insurance claim place that deals with all the superhero stuff in the planet, or in the country.
It's set in space. The Green Lantern appears regularly, and then we're like, why couldn't we have that happen in the movie?
It's an insurance firm, Vince,
that
is in the Justice League satellite.
That's right.
It's just in the satellite.
They rent space.
I think this is potentially genius.
I think that's a great idea.
And we'll see where it goes, but I think it's so cool. And that's the kind of versatile sort of like genre bending thing we're going to need to do to keep superheroes fresh on TV if we're going to keep it as a genre that doesn't get old too fast, because we've already had 3 years of superhero TV onslaught since the beginning of Arrow, and a lot of people are already talking about how they're starting to get a little bit tired of it, and so we need new fresh things like this. I don't even think it's necessarily that big of a deal if we have a million superhero shows on TV forever. I'm not saying that we have to have that, but if these companies want to keep it viable, they're going to need to do things like that. Yeah. So I think that's very, very smart of NBC, and I hope they're just developing it. I hope it happens.
Heck yeah.